Hello guys, welcome to our Art Science Gallery channel. Today we will learn about chapter Heat Physics. Heat. What happens when you put a water in a vessel and keep it out in sun for 2 hours? What happens if you put milk in a vessel on a gas stove? So we will study now that what is an heat. Heat is a very important form of energy. It is produced in nature by various physical and chemical processes. For example, the burning of fuels produce heat. You may have read on heard that an early man produced heat fire by rubbing stones together. Heat as a form of energy not only has extensive uses but can be converted easily into other form of energy and used in steam engines. It is used to run trains in thermal power station. Heat is used to generate electricity. So now we will study about comparison of heat and temperature. In your English class, when you are in primary section, you would have studied that the opposite antonym of hot is cold. What do you understand by hot and cold? How can you compare the hotness of the two or more substances? So it is only for in temperature. Only for in temperature. The degree of hotness or coldness of an object is called its temperature. So it is a definition of a temperature. In scientific language, coldness means less hot, and these two terms are comparative only. So it is commonly measured in units of Celsius. You can see in degree Celsius, but the standard unit is Kelvin. The standard unit of temperature is Kelvin. Here you see that K is Kelvin, and it is also measured in Fahrenheit. Here you see the degree Fahrenheit. So in temperature we have three units: degree Fahrenheit, degree Celsius, and Kelvin. The standard unit of temperature is Kelvin. So it is a temperature. Now measurement of temperature, we will study about measurement of temperature. You may have used a thermometer when someone in your family was down with fever. What is the purpose of using a thermometer when somebody has fever? So this is a thermometer, digital thermometer. A clinical to a person is said to have fever when the body temperature of that person is more than the normal day temperature. So it is a clinical thermometer. A clinical thermometer is used to check the body temperature of a person. Similarly, we use a room temperature room thermometer to know the temperature of a particular place at a particular time. A thermometer is also used in science laboratory to measure temperature during various investigation and experiments. So this is a thermometer. Now we will study about working of a thermometer, that parts of thermometer. So this is just some parts of thermometer. A thermometer is a very simple device which consists of a very thin long glass tube. It has a very small bulb at one end which is filled with mercury. The working of a thermometer is based on the principle that substances expand on heating. The mercury present in the bulb will expand and rise in the thin glass tube on coming into contact with a hot substance. It has a king which does not let it fall on its own. Here you will see the Celsius scale. It is a Celsius scale where we have seen the temperature of your body. Next is a steam, next capillary tube, and next is the mercury, and then is bulb. In the bulb is filled by mercury. We have two types of thermometer, and one clinical thermometer and one digital thermometer. Now we have the types of thermometer, that's a clinical thermometer and laboratory thermometer. So this is a clinical thermometer. It is a thermometer which is used at homes, clinics, and hospitals to measure body temperature. A clinical thermometer has two scales. Celsius scales mark from 35 degrees Celsius to 42 degrees Celsius, and Fahrenheit scale marked from 94 degree Fahrenheit to 108 degree Fahrenheit. The normal temperature of human beings is 37 degrees Celsius or 98.6 degrees Fahrenheit. A body temperature higher than it is constitutes fever, which may be low or high depending on the temperature. You must have heard people saying they had a 101 fever. Do you know what they meant by that? They are actually referring to their temperature in the Fahrenheit scale. Now we will study about laboratory thermometer. So this is a laboratory thermometer. Can we use clinical thermometer to measure the temperature of hot or boiling water? No, we cannot. A clinical thermometer cannot be used to measure substances with a temperature of more than 42 degrees Celsius or 43 degrees Celsius and less than 35 degrees Celsius. So we need another type of thermometer to measure the temperature of such substances or for experiments in a laboratory. For such purposes, a laboratory thermometer is used. It is a laboratory thermometer. We can see in the image. The range of its scale is from -10 degrees Celsius and to 110 degrees Celsius. It can be used to measure higher and lower temperature than a clinical thermometer can. The laboratory thermometer is longer than the clinical thermometer. You have a fun fact that a boiling point of water is 100 degrees Celsius and the melting point of water is 0 degrees Celsius. Find out the melting point of iron, gold, mercury and steel. Also find out the temperature at the core of the earth. So now we will study about precaution of handling thermometers. Precaution of handling thermometers are: first, all care should be taken so that the thermometer is not broken, because mercury is a very dangerous chemical and can cause harm if it enters of the body. To avoid infection, thermometer should be washed with alcohol or water before and after every use. Ensure that the mercury level in the minimum before placing in the mouth or arm for measuring open's temperature. A thermometer should be properly stored in its case. Now we will study about difference between a heat and temperature. So difference between heat and temperature, that you can see in the monitor, that heat, it is a form of energy. Temperature, it is a degree of hotness or coldness of a body. Heat, it is measured in joules. Yes, it is unit of heat is joules, and temperature, it is measured in Kelvin and also in Celsius and Fahrenheit also. Heat, it is not determined directly by an instrument. Temperature, it directly determined by a thermometer. Heat, it is derived quantity. Temperature, it is a fundamental quantity. So this is the difference between of heat and heat. Now we will study about a conduction. So this is a conduction causing what is a conduction? The peace phenomenon of transfer of heat from a region of higher temperature to that of lower temperature through a body or a substance is called a conduction. Condition of conduction are heat flows from one object to another through conduction. Another the following condition: the two objects should be in a contact with each other. The temperature of the two objects should be different as heat flows from a region of higher temperature to that of lower temperature. In case of single objects, heat flows from one region to another only if there is a temperature difference between the two regions. Conduction takes place in all three states of matter: solids, liquid and gases. Now we will study about good conductors and bad conductors. In the monitor you will see that some are good conductors and some are bad conductors. So the materials or substances which allow heat to pass through them easily are called good conductors of heat, and or conductors of heat or good conductors of heat. And metals like aluminum, iron, copper, silver, steel are good conductors of heat. Next, the materials or substances which do not easily allow heat to pass through them are called bad conductors of heat or insulators. Plastic and wood are bad conductors. Also, air and water also poor conductors or insulators. So these are some good conductors and bad conductors. Next, application of good conductors and poor conductors are some are there. Animals and birds keep their bodies warm due to the trapped air they far in feathers. And next, you will see in the monitor that is a baby kid in woolen clothes, that we feel warm or wearing woolen clothes in winter. This is because woolen clothes trap air, which is a bad conductor of heat, thereby not allowing body heat to escape. So now we'll study about a convection. What is a convection? Convection is the process of transfer of heat from a region of higher temperature to a region of lower temperature by actual movement particles through the medium, which you will see in the image. That is a heat transfer, conduction, convection, and radiation. To the bottom of the vessel, the bottom of the vessel is a physical contact with the heat source and gets heated by the process of conduction. The bottom layer of water gets heated up. Now the water molecules start moving up, and after some time reach the top, and this layer gets heated up. This process is called convection. So now let's study about application of convection. We feel warmth of fire from a distance due to convection. Smoke being hot rises, therefore chimneys are found at the top near the roofs. Sea breeze and land breeze, which you studied in the previous class, are caused due to the convection of air, and they are called convection currents. So now we'll study about sea breeze and land breeze. The water in the sea takes more time to heat up compared to land, as water is a bad conductor. Similarly, water takes a longer time to cool down. During daytime, you can see in the image, in daytime, the land heats up faster and the hot air above the land rises due to the process of convection. The cold air from the sea moves towards into the land, that empty space. This is a sea breeze. And next we come to the land breeze. In night time, you can see at the right night the land cools down faster than the sea water, so hot air above the sea water rises and the cool air from the land moves towards the sea, filling up the space. This is a land breeze. So this is sea breeze and land breeze. Now we will study about a radiation. So this is a radiation which is coming from sun to the earth. How do we feel warmth of the sun, which is a millions of kilometers away, with no air or any other medium in between? Similarly, how we can feel the warmth from a heater is a closed room at some distance away from it. The process of radiation is the process in which heat is transferred from a hotter region to a colder region without any medium in between, is called a radiation. And also recall, the air in a poor conductor of heat and convection takes place only in an upward direction. In both these cases, heat is transferred by a process known as radiation. That is why we also call sunlight solar radiation, which you can see in the image. Solar radiation is in fact made up of heat and light. When radiation falls on any objects, it is partly absorbed and partly reflected back. A good or perfect absorber absorbs most of radiation that falls on it. A black color object is considered a perfect absorber. Now we will study about application of radiation. White or light color clothes are preferred in summer as they reflect heat, thereby keeping it cool. Dark or black clothes are preferred in winter as they absorb more heat. And objects like solar cookers and cooking utensils are painted black to absorb more heat and energy. Now we will study about difference between a convection and radiation. Conduction, physical contact present. Convection, physical contact optional. Radiation, no physical contact. Takes place in all three states of matter. Convection takes place only in gases and liquids. Radiation, no medium required. Conduction, heat flows in all direction. Convection, heat flows only in the upward direction. Radiation, heat flows in all direction. So this is a difference between of physical, sorry, conduction, convection and a radiation. So this is about heat. So today we will study about heat. Next day we will study about forest our lifeline, mean biology, forest our lifeline. Next day we will study. So for today, bye. Thank you for watching the video and please like, share, comment and subscribe the video. For today, bye.